Hey everybody, remember me? It is Sunday, November 21st, 2021, and look, it's got a little crimp right there. And it's 2:05 p.m., and I'm in the kitchen making some deviled eggs. Of course, we here at the St. Peter's Shul, I call them Christed eggs because deviled eggs, they give you heartburn and put you in a bad mood. But Christed eggs are great. They're very uplifting and they're delicious. All right, so anyway, what I have here is a plate full of egg halves, hard-boiled eggs, but I've cut in half and I've removed the yolks and put the yolks in a bowl. You can't. If I do that, I'm going to end up in trouble. But you can see. And if you've never done that before, the yolks pop right out. Tip on boiling eggs. Okay, I learned the best recipe for hard-boiled eggs or any kind. Well, I guess you can shorten the time and it's going to be a little bit different. Anyway, let me go back. Hard-boiled eggs. Best recipe I ever came upon was after I moved in here when I wanted to make deviled eggs. First time I looked up a recipe for boiled eggs, and oh my god, this is the best recipe ever. What you do is you put your eggs in a pot, and I came across some weird ones. I'll tell you after this. Put your eggs in a pot. Fill with about at least 2 inches of water above the eggs. All right, and bring the water to a rolling boil, and then cut the heat and put a lid on the pan. The lid that fits the pan, ideally, really. And cut the heat, leave it on the burner, and let it sit for 10 minutes. And then take it off, and then you can, remove the water, and then put cold water in there, whatever you want to do after that. Idea is to rest the cooking, though, quickly enough. Now, the nice thing about this recipe, as the person told me when I was reading it, is that you can leave the eggs in that pot for 10 to 15 minutes, and you should be fine. You won't have any yolks graying or anything like that you have with overcooked eggs. It's a perfectly cooked egg every time. These I left for about 11 minutes. So anyway, I came across a recipe for boiling eggs one time that said, okay, take your pot and put a towel in the bottom of the pot so the eggs don't crack. I'm like, bring that up to is that real? I don't know. It just felt, you know what I mean? Like, doesn't that seem like something is going to go wrong there? You know what I mean? So I didn't do it. Maybe not, but there's no need necessarily to do that anyway. I found. It just seems like, putting the towel right close to the heat source when it's on high might cause a problem, even in water. But you never know. Okay, let me. All right. So what I have here now, we're gonna make the filler that goes in the deviled eggs. And what I have is onion powder, garlic powder, paprika, pepper, salt, vinegar, and I think I'm going to try some Worcestershire sauce. Never tried that before. I thought it. Oh, and also I've cut up some onion that I had in my fridge, about a third of an onion I had there, so that's cut up and that's ready to go. And here's the bowl of yolks. All right. And I have, I forgot. I have about a little over 2/3 of a heaping cup of 2/3. I'm going to do it by feel. So I'm going to throw this in. You see what I have here in the mayonnaise jar? Bar spoon. I use this bar spoon when I make soup on the stove. I use it for all kinds of stuff. I have not yet used it to make a cocktail. But they come in handy for I bought it when I was stirring my Metamucil, when I was taking that every day. And now, I use it for everything. It's a good, handy, long spoon, All right. I didn't mash my yolks first. All right, so here's what we're going to do. Just gonna put a little bit of this back, add it back in after I mashed them. Thanks, Lord. All right. This is a good paradigm for life right here. I'm not ready for the Yep. All right. I remember the first time I DJ'd at the Detour bar in the Castro. Gotta mash these up. I got called suddenly, you know, by the DJ that was supposed to play that night, and he wanted me to fill in for him. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm not ready. You know what I mean? It came out of nowhere. And I'm not ready and everything, and it went off surprisingly well. Like, it was actually like I was more ready. Sometimes you're not ready. Like, one time I had to, this is like one of the worst nights of my life. And thanks be to God, though, too, in a way. I was to play at a church Christmas Eve service, play the organ. And I train wrecked in the middle of a hymn. And then got so nervous I could only play the melody after that, like with one finger, because it was the worst thing you would ever want to happen. I have a lot of stage anxiety when it comes to playing music. A lot. I still haven't gotten over that. All right. Let's see. But yeah, that was... And you know what's really funny is I asked I don't know what it was, because it was early in the night. I think it was earlier in the night, because I know I asked my music teacher to go. And I was hoping he would be, so thank God he wasn't, you know. But it would, you know, now in hindsight, I wouldn't have. It's funny, because I really wouldn't, back then it would have been a nightmare for me. But had he showed up now, like, that doesn't bother me. Maybe the most sympathetic in a way. Ear you could have that happen to really would be, you know what I mean? Someone that kind of knows what that might be like, even though I'm sure he's never done that before. You know, I hope nobody does that. That's kind of horrible. All right. Actually, you know what I found? The yolks are kind of easier to mash up with the mayonnaise in there a little bit. Never tried that until now. It's always good to try new things. Right. That was a quote of Hannibal Lecter's in the movie Hannibal at the end. I won't tell you the scene because it's kind of gross and we're making food. All right. I don't know why, because honestly, like, I say anything most of the time. And I'm glad I do, because candor's good. Candor's good. Don't ever let people discourage you from that. Really. And it can be tough, too, because peer pressure can be a bitch. All right. He was feeding a kid a piece of somebody's brain on a plane. Is what was going on there. All right. Kind of looked like that. No, just kidding. Actually, I don't remember what it looked like. I'm not sure what food that they used for that. I have no idea. Okay. All right, that should be enough. So what we end up with, of course, is if you've had deviled eggs, you know what this is like. It's like a whip, almost, pretty much. Smart as a whip. What's the square root of... No, just kidding. All right. Should be able to answer if it's smart. Okay. I'm pretty smart, and I couldn't, you know... I'm math illiterate these days. I couldn't answer. So whatever you asked me with that, I couldn't tell you. All right. I'm gonna put a little bit more in, like the rest of this here. I wish I felt like this every day in terms of, like, you know, my normal, like, outgoingness and you know what I mean? Just gregarious sort of nature and everything. And I just haven't lately. I haven't. Between having the COVID-19 long hauler stuff that, whew, I got to do laundry before Thanksgiving just in case my guests show up and, you know, need some clean clothes. And what you call it? I have not. Oh, I'm sorry. No. You know what? You know what just stopped me dead in there? I just thought of, like, maybe I shouldn't have said that just because, like, you know what I mean? I try to maintain people's, like, kind of, you know what I mean? People may not, you know, want that publicized, but it's too late. It's out of the bag. Anyway, so what I was worried about was, like, when I had that thought, I thought, oh, that involves going to the bank to get quarters right over here. And I was like, and then doing the laundry, and I got tired just thinking about it. It's just, simple trips to the grocery store these days are just tough. Very difficult. I can't even, you know, the smallest of things I used to take for granted, even like, I don't know, 8 months ago, whatever the hell it was, before Thanksgiving. Not this Thanksgiving, the year before that. I just can't do that stuff right now. I can't at all. And I miss it, you know? I mean, it's almost like, a lot of times now, I just get like one thing done a day, or something like that. One major thing done a day, and that's it. All right, so we got that right there. We're gonna put in some onions. I love onions. Or put in some onion, I guess, because it's all one onion, right? Okay. That. Then, this is vinegar. Vinegar, YouTube audience, YouTube vinegar, or YouTube audience vinegar. Now that you've met. All right. I don't think I've ever used vinegar on camera before. That just occurred to me. How strange. So yeah, so it needed an introduction. All right. I'm gonna put in 3. Oh, you know what I also forgot? Dijon mustard. I'm gonna put in 4. All right. I like bite. I like, you know what I mean? If I don't bite, if I don't get into that deviled egg and I don't feel like a Granny Smith apple sort of a feel, I kind of feel like, the hell's it all for? All right. Dijon mustard. I do like 3 of these. All right. Garlic powder. I don't know why onion powder gets like this for. paprika. We're gonna end up probably. These are gonna have to. We're gonna have to heat these because of the onions have added considerable bulk to the whole mix. Oh, that smells good already. That's heaven. That's heaven right there. All right. All right. We're gonna do stuff the way you're supposed to do it, even though I might not. I'm not saying I have. I'm not. You know, I may or may not have. This is how you're supposed to taste things in a kitchen. Really, you take this right, and put this on another spoon, and use more salt. And then when you do it again, you don't touch. You know what I mean? You drop it on there. All right, so. Since I started that, let me see what's the way to do that there. Okay. And then this over here. All right. It's called a tasting spoon. All right. I just touched my face. You're not supposed to do that. But, you know, we're informal here. I try not to. At least I'm not like, with like, you know, what do they call that? Acne that's like real bad. I forget what that's called. Acne. No, anyway, like that. Like, just like, you know. Not that, I'm not trying to put people with acne. You know, you can't help it. But, gosh, you sure hope they're not wipe. You know what I mean? Right? You know what I mean? We all hope that, like, you know. Okay. All right. That's a worse thought than the brains right now. I'm sitting there thinking like, oh my god, that puts me off, but not the brain comment. It's kind of funny. All right. All right. Okay, that's the one I'm eating with, and this is the one we're doing this with. Okay. More bite. You know what? If I add some Worcestershire sauce in there, that should do it. All right. Or Dijon mustard, we'll see. Did I add bite, though? Let me see. Well, that kind of softened. Let me just check. No, it'll add some flavor, but we're gonna have to add some Dijon mustard in too. All right. Woo! Hope I didn't add too much in there. All right. All right. There is less bite than before. Okay. So, okay. It's good. But I will say this. Next time, no Worcestershire. If you want that flavor. But more bite, you know what I mean? But it does add a nice, for what it is, it's pretty good. Would I say it's all for naught? No. So I guess I was kind of wrong about that. All right. Though by this time, what we do have is a mixture that is a little bit, it's still thick, but see how runny it is? You don't necessarily want it to be like that. All right. However, it'll firm up, I imagine, in the freezer, or in the fridge. Und now, we put this in there. That's what there. Remember there? No. You probably don't remember there if you weren't an East Coast person in the 80s and before, 70s and 80s. It's a store. All right. Ooh, daddy. Yeah. All right. Well, that's what happens when you experiment with things sometimes, They get a little, you take a risk, but it's all right. It's going to be a good risk anyway, edibly speaking. Yeah. It just, the only problem is they're a little bit more runny. To kind of not, you know what I mean? To run down and just, hopefully it'll be all right. Anybody with came in like at the church function or like something where they have deviled eggs, they probably walk up to these and go, "Ooh, okay, that's a little bit different than I'm used to seeing." All right. All right. And yes, we do have leftover wit. I'm calling it wit, even though they probably would call it yolk normally, because it's wit. It's wit. All right. Now I can just. All right. It's good. Oh yeah. It's good. All right. All right, so let's take a look here. Now what I do is this. Now we're going to take some paprika for color. If you're alone in the kitchen, who's to see? All right. You would feel better, and I would feel better, if I did this. All right. That wasn't a good way to do that. With my fingers would have been better. Let's see. Yeah. I wish there was and there probably is something that does that, like where it, you know what I mean? Almost like a sifter. So you get a nice even coating as you run across. I would like to have one of those things. All right. And that's what you have at the end. Can I do that? Okay, it's starting to slide. All right, so the plate's like, I've had enough. I've had enough. I've had enough. All right. Imagine, hey, you know what I would do? Fuck it. That's what I would do. You know what I mean? What can you do at that point? All right. Let's see. I mean, I could explode, but oh well. You know what I mean? I'm not going to ruin my day over that. All right. So there's the deviled egg. For these and all his mercies, God's holy name be blessed and praised through Christ our Lord. Amen. Not bad. You know what's really weird? Deviled eggs are an easy and fast way to consume a startling amount of eggs. Like that you would not, you know what I mean? That you wouldn't eat other ways. I could polish off that entire plate, no problem. And the only reason I don't, I think, is because it's like, dude, you just ate a dozen eggs. Like, no, you know? Mm. One more for the road. That's it. And then I come back in 15 minutes in the refrigerator. All right, one more. So generally, let me just recap here. Add like three teaspoons of Dijon mustard, 2 to 3 of vinegar, no Worcestershire sauce, and add the other things that you want there. Some paprika, definitely. You can leave out the onion. About 2/3 of a cup of mayonnaise. Mash the yolks first. You know, because I did get a chunk of yolk in there during one of the tasting bites. And you'll get a stiff, you know what I mean? You'll get that, yours won't be as runny as mine. And it'll be a more familiar color and consistency. So that's how you do that. All right. Anyway, it's 2:38 p.m. I'm going to call it quits on this video. I'm going to have one more of these after I get off the video. All right. And say, I love you all and peace.